So you see, there's a lot of activity here, but I'm controlling the dog's behavior. You can see it. Yeah, you can be a movie star. So our environment is more chaotic than most home environments, but we manage the dog. We teach the dog what is right and what's wrong. People come and go. She's happy. Her tail is wagging. I'm going to slip this permanently collar on. You make a P, and you slip it over the doggy's head, like this. It slides right over. Now, I remove the temporary one. And now, good girl, Marley, good girl. So, there's never tension on the leash. That's rule number 1. Never tension. So, for the last however long she's been here, we've never allowed to pull on the leash. I did notice out on the field that she has a very odd reaction, behavioral reaction to certain things. So my assumption was that the use of electric training devices, whether it's an invisible fence, whether it's a shock collar, a scat mat, it's very apparent to me that that has affected her behavior. So it's going to take us a little longer for her to get out of that. It's a misinterpretation of what's happening. So she probably got a correction, an electric correction, at an inappropriate time, and she hasn't figured that out. So we have to now rehabilitate her through that. So that's going to be a little bit longer. And I noticed it almost immediately. When I called her to come to me, she ran and hid. So it wasn't disobedience, it was actually fear. And sometimes she'd lay down. So I'm guessing that she was pushed through or walked through an invisible fence or some electrical device, and she misinterpreted that. So we're going to cut that. But so this is it. It's nice and relaxed. People coming and going. Come over here, little man. Christopher, come over. Come on, get over here. So we want to work. So children, this is a 10-year-old. Children are the #1 victims of dog bites. So if you want to get low, I want you to play with the dog. Get low. Get low. Get boy. You pet your hands. Clap your hands. Good. And then pet. This is how children get introduced to dogs. Not by jumping up and down. See how nice this is? He's loving. He's petting. The dog. This is very important. Then he loves. Very nice. So we use this kid from Central Casting. I rented him from, and we use him to interact with dogs. Now, if he stands up, go ahead, stand up, please. And then walk over here. Get low. Clap your hands. Then the dog comes to him, and he loves it. But we don't allow the dog to jump. Dogs never get praised unless their 4 feet are on the ground. We don't want a dog, regardless of how friendly they are, to jump on children. Children are the #1 victims of injury, even if the dog just knocks them over. We're going to cut, and then we're going to go outside. Okay, so movement and sound is going to what triggers the dog's behavior. I'm going to step out with my left, make a noise, he comes. She. When I stop, she needs to sit. Marley. Sit. I step out with my right foot, I open the door. So everything is slowed down. Right foot, dog stays. Left foot, watch for my movement on my left foot. She comes. All right, we're going out. Okay, so now we're outside with Marley. And there's a lot happening that she has to get used to. She needs to be socialized. So she doesn't know what a bus is. She doesn't know what a train is. She don't know what's happening in our environment. So that's taking us a particularly longer time than normal to get her to adapt to the environment. We have to teach her what the environment is. She can't figure this out. So, as I said, I'm going to walk with her. I'm going to step out my left, and she's going to walk with me, nice and relaxed. When she pulls, I correct. Good girl, Marley. Good girl. So this is a process. So if we look at it like this, Marley, sit. 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 Good girl. So if we look at this as school for children, this is like 3rd or 4th grade, so we have to work through all this craziness that's in her head that she hasn't been really exposed to in her life. So we have to expose it to her, we have to be relaxed. We're going to go inside and talk about separation anxiety that the humans create. Period, end of story. Not that it's good or bad, very loving parents, but they create separation anxiety by over-nurturing the dog, over-loving and nurturing. Mixed messages. Okay, so now we went from outside, inside, inside, outside. Notice the dog is always under my control. There's always a leash and collar on. He's never left unsupervised. When you leave the home, you have to take a shower. The dog goes into his crate intermittently and randomly. Watch, it looks like this. Go place. Go place. Good dog. For that, the only time the dog gets a treat is when he goes in his crate. The separation anxiety occurs when you only put him away at certain times. When you're going to bed, when you're leaving the house, and you do a lot of talking to the dog. So we do this intermittently and randomly throughout the day. The only time he gets food, not at the table, not at the barbecue, is when he's in his crate. When I go to let him out, I open, but he needs permission to come out. And you see he's happy, right? Watch. Okay. Good doggy. Good. Good. And then he's allowed to move around. She. I keep getting in trouble. She. Good. So then, well, I pick up the leash. I'm just going to do this one more time. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Go, please. Please. And now, obviously, if we extend this over a period of time, she's going to do this all the time. When I close it, I'm not talking. We just leave. And we go about our business. There's no separation anxiety. Separation anxiety comes if she barks or cries. We always go back and ask her a question. She doesn't talk. So your energy just shifts. She'll eventually go to sleep. She could be there for, if I was leaving her unsupervised, I would take the leash off. But as long as her needs were met, pee, poop, everything, all her needs are met, she can stay in the crate 5, 6, 8, 10 hours, depending on your schedule. As long as she's been able to exercise, her needs have to be met. This is great training for today. I don't even think we're halfway through yet. Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Today's Marley's graduation day. So, a couple of things to remember. Leash and collar is always on the dog. Inside the house, outside the house. She's come a long way. We've had some minor setbacks because apparently she's been exposed to different electronic static training devices, whether it's an invisible fence or remote push-button trainer. They can affect dogs adversely if not done precisely right at certain times. So we noticed that early on, and we've kind of worked through that. So she has a misunderstanding sometimes of her environment. So when I called her initially, she'd run and hide. So there's a difference between disobedience and fear. So we recognize fear. We treat fear completely different than disobedience. So leash is on, we're going to go for a walk. Notice that my body, I'm up here, my eyes are up here, and I'm relaxed. I'm heading towards the door. I'm going to step out with my left foot. She's coming. Good girl. I praise her. When I stop, she sits. I step out with my right to open the door. I'm relaxed. 2 fingers. No tension, no staring, no bending over. We live up here. She lives down there. When we want to interact with her, we go down there. Right now, we're not interacting, we're walking. I'm going out the front door with my left foot forward. And you can cut there. Okay, so now we're outside. I'm going to a designated area for her to relieve herself and play. But notice on a sunny day, there's shadows, there's all kinds of noises, there's all kinds of distractions, environmental distractions. If she got an electric correction, for example, when she was looking at her own shadow, she could fear shadows. It's a weird kind of concept of the dog brain compared to the human brain. So we have to take into account all the changes in the environment, the buses, the train. So we're going to an area for her to relieve herself. Good girl. Good girl. And I'm going to come in. I'm going to ask her one more time to sit. Marley. Good girl. Then I love her. And then I just drop the leash and say, okay, girl. Okay, girl. Now she's free to do anything she wants. Pee, poop. Good. And what dogs do? Good girl, Marley. So this is her opportunity. We have a big field. This is analogous to your backyard. She's sniffing the ground. It's like a new day out here. There's been rabbits out here, I'm assuming. There was a little moisture. So she's sniffing. And that's perfectly fine. And then in a little while, we're going to go and do some walking around the neighborhood to show you how relaxed we got to be. Then we're going to put the dog, teach her how to go to the crate
So we're talking about managing the dog. We have to, the pet owner, it's critical that the pet owners understand this. The biggest problem with the boot camp is the transition from us to the homeowner. And every human being in the chain of transition affects the dog. Because the dog is good with us, she understands it, she's been here 12 days. Every human being she is associated, whether it's children, adults, whoever it is, aunts, uncles, the dog is going to have a different relationship with them. So it's important. We're going to cut and we're going to take a walk. Okay, so now we're outside in the real world, so to speak, right? Where we have no control over the environment. There's buses, there's trains, there's airplanes. The criteria, the barometer we use is the dog better, worse, or the same. Every day we work with her, she's better. The same for humans. Are your children better, worse, or the same in each grade they go to? If they're worse in 6th grade than they were in 5th grade, something's wrong. But if they're progressing. So here she is. I don't know, you can't hear it, but there's noise in the background. Here comes a bus. To a dog, a bus is a monster. The vacuum cleaner, we're going to bring out the vacuum in a minute, is all strange animals. I'm going to step out my left. Good girl, she walks. If you notice, my body is relaxed. I turn, she turns. Good girl, I praise good behavior. If she saw, I don't slow down for her. I move along. Watch the shadows. Good girl. When I stop, she sits. If I step out my right foot, she'll stay. It's no tension here. Do you see how I'm holding this leash? I come back to her side. Here comes a car. She should be afraid of moving objects. This is like a pterodactyl, but she stood perfectly fine. And I didn't move. My body is relaxed. And this is why we're going to follow up with in-home instruction. But if you go back to the way it was in your home, she is going to regress like that. So in many ways, it's a waste of time and money. I feel confident if everybody follows our video and our instructions, she's going to be fine. But it's a deep understanding of the dog brain, it's just not a cute, fluffy little dog. Step out my left, she moves. Look at my hand. Good girl. Good girl. I turn. Good girl. Good girl. I keep moving. Good. Good girl. Good girl. I can go fast. Good girl. Relaxed. I can turn. Good girl. She turns. When I stop, she needs to sit. Sit. Marley, sit. Good. Depending on what foot, step out my... Good. I could drop the leash. I'm standing in the middle of a road, but I'm watching the leash. I'm going to love her physically, and then I'm stepping out. I'm going to cut now and go inside and do some work inside. So here we are, and now that I'm low, I'm in Marley's world, right? So it's important to understand things that we do. We never pet the dog unless her 4 feet are on the ground. That's what's prevented. She doesn't jump on anybody here. She began to. We fix it by correction, a slight correction, a physical correction, not an electronic correction that the dog has no idea where the electricity comes from. That's a mistake. So she obviously will interact better with the people that she sees as leaders and friends. As you see, nothing's happened. The only time she gets food, as we said, when she gets in the crate. So there's a top 10 list. You'll see these videos. We love her. And now here is a monster. This monster smells like an animal because there's dog hair in here. It screeches. Good girl. Good. So I'm not going to, you got to be reasonable. She has no idea what this contraption is. I don't know how a vacuum cleaner works, but I know it's a vacuum. I know I plug it in and it makes noise. To her, it's a creature that moves around the floor. And it can be frightening to a dog. Many dogs are frightened by this. And it's her association with it. It's her association with it that matters. So I'm going to put this away. She's been out. She's going home in a little while. She's probably ready to go. It is stressful here, just like some camp for kids. It's stressful if a dog doesn't adapt perfectly well. So some dogs are just outgoing and exuberant. She's a little on the tentative side. And it's not just, I'm not implying that it's because of only the electric fence or whatever, the invisible or remote training collar. Some of it is just purely genetics. The thing is, most dogs want to be left alone. I don't know exactly the environment she's in at home. Young children picking her up and touching her and getting into her space. We have to respect space. So, I gotta be down here when I interact. And then she dens with me kind of like a wolf, right? I kind of look like a crazy wolf. And here she is. And she's done. She's had it. It's hot out today. Lowered air conditioning. We just came in from the hot sun. She's got a light coat that attracts heat more than a dark coat. So these things are things that we take into consideration. Sometimes the pet owners don't. Good girl. I want her to go in her crate. I direct her. Go place. Place. She goes in. I shut it. I give her a treat, the only time, even meals. This is the only time since she's been in this facility that she gets food when she goes in her crate. For the purposes of training, I'm going to leave the leash and collar on, but we're going to just walk away. This addresses the separation anxiety. We're going to disappear. We're not going to talk. We're not going to tell her we're going to Whole Foods, or we're not telling her any. Okay, so now. Separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is anxiety created mostly by human anxiety, ironically. So the dogs come into the equation without anxiety. So we've created it. So this is not, again, humans create anxiety for dogs. Dogs are social pack animals. So now she's in her crate. She's comfortable. We're only a few feet away, so we're monitoring her. That's not her barking, by the way. And in a minute or so, Jackie is going to just sneak around the corner. But the trick with crate training is you can't always appear, you can't talk to her, you can't give food away. So we correct bad behavior physically with a little correction, and we love good behavior. The truth of the matter is she's very soft, meaning she's not like a difficult dog at all behaviorally. But there are a few things that have to be cleared up in her head, her association. So just peek around the corner and see. She's been in there a few minutes now, 5 minutes. So that's, she laid down. There's no barking, there's no stress, there's no anxiety. Remember, barking and whining, that is stress. So the point is we keep this. Crate training should be random and periodic. It's 10:30 now. She's in her crate maybe for 20 minutes because I know she had an opportunity to go outside. So her needs were met, just like a 2 or 3 year old child. Their needs have to be met. They have to be fed, they have to have water, they have to have a clean, I guess, do they have diapers at 3? I don't know. Whatever it is, parents know this, but when it comes to dogs, we throw all of that out, that common sense, and we kind of create codependency in animals. This is good. She's going home today. We're going to follow up in the home, and hopefully we put this all together. Thank you. So here we are vacuuming. Now, obviously, if the vacuum is like a monster, it smells like a dog.